Hi there, Loy Machedo. Sweeney from LoyMachedo.com. Who's Loy Machedo and Think Personal Branding? I got a couple of these questions that were sent to me. So today I just thought I'd answer a couple of them. They were sent to me at ask@LoyMachedo.com. So just thought I'd answer around 12, 13 questions. Okay, let's quickly move on. Loy, I'm a fresh graduate from BITS Pilani, Dubai. What do you think should be my next step in my career? Should I go to Canada, complete a master's program, set up here in UAE, or gain experience? Now, for an expatriate who is in Dubai, I would obviously suggest go down to a country that offers you citizenship, because that would be the first most important thing for you. That's what I would advise any expatriate. First is get a citizenship, okay, in a country that takes care of you. The second one would be, once you go to that country, in that country, you take up an education that is recognized by the government, or that is recognized by the the corporate world in that country. Because if you take an education, let's say from India, and you go down to Canada or go to US, they may not recognize that. Okay, and from there, move to the next step. Don't think too far ahead. Okay, the next question. What do you think I should do after college? Start a business, work for a company, study more? Okay, it all depends what your goals are. As long as you can afford to study and you're getting world-class education, that is what I would recommend. But when you're studying, work at the same time. So it's like you're working, gaining experience in the real world, and studying. Should you work for a company? Well, when you work for a company, you gain experience. Start a business. Don't do that, especially if it's not your money. Okay, if you're a student. So this is what I would suggest. First is obviously study, depending on what your goals are. And when you're studying, also work for someone so you have real life experiences. With regards to starting a business, do not start a business unless it's your own money. And if it's your own money, take it one step at a time. So that's what I would suggest. Next question is, my parents want me to get married after I complete my graduation. What is your opinion? You know, I find it's really silly that parents pressurize their children to want to get married, because marriage is not a solution. It's a beginning of a lot of problems. Some parents believe that once after you get married, you become responsible. But what I would suggest for you is do not fall for anyone else's plan with regards to your life. Marriage is a lifetime of commitments, and not everyone is meant to get married. Not everyone is meant to have a happy married life. Not every marriage is successful. So for now, what I'd suggest is prolong this as much as you can. Don't be forced into marriage. Study as much as you can, then move to working, get some experiences. And relationships, well, just continue having that. Do not get pressurized into marriage. Marriage is not a solution. That's a no-no for me. Next one. My father is a government employee while my mother is a housewife, but they keep giving me advice on life, which I find rubbish and useless. What do I do? See, the thing is, your parents pay your bills, okay? So they obviously are taking care of you, so they have a right to give you advice. And the reason they give you advice is because they care about you. They want you to make the smart decision. So your father will give you a perspective based on his experience. Mother will give you perspective based on her experiences. I'm pretty sure they love and care about you. However, how competent they are in terms of giving advice, that is a big question. I would recommend you respect what they have to say, especially the fact that they are taking care of you, especially the fact that you are your parents. Respect what they have to say. And it's when you start earning, when you start looking after yourself, that is where you start taking decisions on your own and do your own stuff. Okay. Until then, I suggest don't ruin the peace in the house. Okay. Obey your parents. Listen to them. If they're telling you good things, I'm pretty sure that they have good intentions for you. Next one is, Lloyd, I find your videos very conflicting. Okay, sometimes you say follow your passion, sometimes you say focus on making money, sometimes you say something else. What should I focus on? Okay, you know, the the problem is you have people who cherry pick pieces of advice. Some people want to be Hollywood stars, some want to be DJs, some want to be, let's say, famous personalities on YouTube, some want to be rich. Now, one needs to be very, very practical. Okay, you need to be very practical as to how you can survive and sustain. So, if in case if you have money in the bank, if you have an ability to sustain and survive, then go ahead and follow whatever is your passion. Okay, let's say you have money to survive, you have a strong backing, financial backing. But if in case you do not have that, then I think you need to be very practical. If you do not have the means to pay your bills, take care of your expenses for the very next day, talking about passion, I'm passionate about this, I'm passionate about that, doesn't help you. Be practical, use common sense, focus on what is important right now. Okay, so if you have the money, you don't have to worry about anything. If you don't have the money, focus on how you can make some money, and then you can do whatever you want. Even me, focusing on my passion, this is what I'm doing, is because I have money in the bank. If I didn't have money in the bank, there's no passion. Okay. Next one, Loy, is it better to be a master of one field or jack of all trades? Okay. Now, whatever skill you do have, if it's helping you make some money, survive and sustain, that is a good skill to have. And then you start developing other skills so that if this particular skill or talent is no longer in demand, you have something to fall back on. Let's say, for example, my blog, let's say I was into blogging. One fine day, blogging shuts down. I can no longer blog. I can no longer make money. Let's say government changes regulations. Bloggers, it's a not regulated market. Let's say you can't blog. Well, I need to find some other ways and means to earn money. Let's say I'll move into YouTube. Okay, here I start talking. Now, if this shuts down, I need to have a plan C. So plan A, plan B, plan C, plan D. Now, if whatever it is that you're focusing on helps you survive and sustain and pay your bills, fine, focus on that. See what are the limits, and at the same time, develop something else. It's always good to not put all your eggs in one basket. That is something that I tend to tell people. So have your core competencies, have your core strength, but at the same time, develop other skills. I hope that makes sense to you. Next one, I hate studying my current subjects and I want to change to another stream. What should I do? I think this is a very critical decision that you have to make. You have to consider various factors. Are you doing it because of your mood swings? Are you doing it because of what you think is popular? Are you doing it because of based on certain assumptions? I think you need to address the core issue of why you want to make a change. Understand your strengths, your weaknesses. Have experts guide you. Don't just go to parents. Don't just go to your college counselor, whatever. I think you need to dig deeper, because when you're changing from stream A to stream B, you can't keep doing that over and over again. So please make a calculated decision. Don't just jump the gun. Make an evaluated decision. That's what I would suggest. Next one, when I go for an interview, the interviewer says, I do not have any experience. How do I get an experience if no one gives me a chance to prove myself? Normally, an interviewer, would tend to give you reasons why you cannot get a job by being polite. Sometimes they would say that, you don't have enough experience. The fact of the matter is, if he read your resume and he knows that you do not have experience and he still called you, the fact is he was looking at the possibility that maybe you're the right candidate. Okay. However, after he spoke to you, interacted with you, I think he realized that you're not the right fit for the job that they have. You're not the person that they're looking out for. So that is why after he called you for the interview, this is what he said. Personally, I think all decision makers know that youngsters do not have experience and they need an opportunity to prove themselves. So if you have been called for an interview and the interviewer tells you this, it is because he didn't feel that you're the right fit for the job, and the blame comes on you because I don't think you did enough to convince them that you are the right fit. So you need to evaluate what is it that you said and figure out ways where you can change what you say, or say it in a way whereby it helps you get your foot through the door. Also keep in mind that just because you didn't get a job is not the end of the world. There are many other opportunities that will present itself. Next one, Loy, how many hours in a day do you recommend studying? Well, it once again comes down to your goal. What is your goal? Do you want to understand the subject? Do you want to just mug it up? Do you want to memorize? When you're talking of understanding a subject, the learning, studying, experimentation, being hands-on involved never ends. If you're talking of just mugging up, memorization, maybe you can do it within an hour. I think you need to ask yourself, what is your end result? And how soon can you do it? So if it takes 1 hour to memorize a speech, 1 hour to memorize a particular subject, then 1 hour it is. But if in case it takes you much more than that, what I suggest is then spend more number of hours. Remember, end of the day, you got to achieve your objective. Next one is, Loy, I'd like to be an online consultant and coach and advisor. How can I reach this goal as soon as possible? There is no reaching the goal as soon as possible. It's a trial and error. It's not easy. It is not something that anyone and everyone can do. Let's say, for example, tomorrow you just set up shop and you call yourself, I'm a coach, I'm a consultant, which many people tend to do that. Don't expect everyone to come knocking on your door and say, I would like your service. I would suggest get some real world experience, work for other people, work for people who are better than you, get your hands dirty, understand what life is all about, and then position yourself as a coach, a consultant. Without having experience and telling other people what to do is very easy, doesn't work in the real world. And please don't fall for the bullshit that you read online. Next one is, I want to create a YouTube channel and blog. How can I make money doing this? People think it's very easy to have a blog and a YouTube. Yes, it's very easy. All you got to do is have a free account. The account is for free. Have an iPhone. You can start, putting up your vlogs. You can start putting up your videos. You can just have a laptop, just put up an article, and that's about it. But then it comes down to the fact of having a loyal base of followers who follow each and every article. Have a loyal base of fans who want your content, and then create a demand whereby people say, I really like your content. I'm ready to support you financially. I'm ready to pay you money for this, and I would like you to generate more of it. So if you do not have fans, followers, and people who are ready to finance you, then I don't think you should just jump into it 100%. Do it as a side hobby. Once you build up enough number of followers and fans and people who are ready to pay you money, remember, pay you money that takes care of your bills and expenses, then move into this. Otherwise, just take it as a side hobby until you are able to sustain and survive through that way. Next one is, Lloyd, what is the easiest way to earn a 7-figure income? There is no easiest way. Everything is very, very hard. Whatever you read online earns a 7-figure income easy, or I boosted my profit by 91%. That's 5 things you need to do to become a millionaire. That's all bullshit. People are doing this to scam you, to fool you, so that you pay them money, and that is how they earn their money. There is no, stop reading stuff that you see online. There is no easy way to make 7-figure income. If you do want to figure out a way, remember, first is a 1-figure income, then you slowly move to a 2-figure income, then you slowly move to a 3-figure income. It's a step-by-step process. So if you have not made $1, you cannot make $10, you cannot make $100, okay? So start focusing on first earning something, then try to make more. So the starting base, I would say, start at 1,000, whatever is your currency, $1,000. And once you make $1,000, ask yourself, how can I make 2,000? Then from 2,000, keep breaking your head, and that's how you'll increase. Next one, Loy, I want to create a brand. What advice would you give me in creating and becoming a world-class brand? When you're talking about becoming a brand, you should be known for something, you should be recognized for something, and you should be, identified or marketed as something. So whatever it is that you want to be known as, start with that. Identify what is that skill or value proposition that you offer other people. Keep offering that service or value to other people, starting from free to going in for a fee. And once people start paying you and they find value in what you're doing, they will start talking about you, they would start marketing you, they would start recommending you, money starts coming in. That's where you become known. That's where you become a brand. Let's say you're offering a website-based service. You kept one guy happy. He was so happy that he recommended you to somebody else. That guy gave you business. Very soon, 2-3 people started, getting in touch with you. Business started to improve. Then very soon you became to know as the guy to go for websites. Then you can start, giving it an exclusive twist like your name, let's say Joe Alexander, Joe Alexander's signature series of websites, and then you can, find your niche market from there. Joe Alexander's websites for photographers or for, retired people or whatever. Find your niche market from there. So it's a step-by-step process. The first thing is figure out what is the value that you offer other people, and offer that, charge, start with free, then start with the fee, build up a demand, and from there start positioning yourself. That's how I would say is building a brand. Next one, Loy, how can I focus on further studies when there's a gap for 5 years to grow my career? I want to study further. Studies can happen at any point of time. You can even be 40 years old and still go to college. It all depends on your balance, your ability to manage funds and do what you want. So first, I think you need to ask yourself, do you have a stable income? If you have a stable income, you have savings in the bank, you are able to balance your work, you're able to balance your personal life, your family life, and then whatever extra that you can take on, go ahead and do that. Remember, studies also require a solid amount of commitment of time, effort, and money. Once you can put both of them in balance, I would say that's great. If you cannot, I would say think about putting extra on your plate because it'll really, really tax you. Last question is, Loy, I'm thinking of migrating to Dubai and get a job. My life in Pakistan is very hard. What are your views? Life anywhere in any part of the world is hard. Some countries, it can be a little bit more better than your hometown. But if you are just going to migrate to another country and start from zero, remember this, life down at the bottom is very, very hard. And you'll be identified as an immigrant, as a person who has come to take their job. So you can expect resistance. So don't think that migrating is a solution to all your problems. It can be the beginning of even greater problems. What I would suggest is if you are planning to migrate, make sure that you have a contact, make sure that you do your research, make sure that you have somebody who's going to help you. Most important is you have money in the bank that will help you sustain and survive for the next 6 months of unemployment, and only then move there. So these are a couple of the questions that I received from youngsters all across the globe. Whenever I have the questions, I'll answer them. Remember, send your questions to ask@loymachedo.com. Good questions, I'll answer. The other questions, I'll put it up there on my website. So you have anything, let me know. Put your comments down below. Like the video, thumbs up. Don't like it, thumbs down. This is me signing off for now. Take care.